Keir Starmer is facing a 50-strong rebellion from his backbenches despite watering down his welfare cuts. Politically, this is a big blow to the Prime Minister, exposing his weak grip on his own party despite winning such a huge majority just 1 year ago. But it's an even bigger problem for Rachel Reeves, who now needs to find another £4 billion to make her sums add up. Having promised not to come back for further tax rises, her position is now looking increasingly untenable. Watch out for a sacking ahead of Labour conference. But beyond the narrow fortunes of Starmer's premiership, this U-turn will have catastrophic consequences for the public finances. And it's just not fair to the working people he claims to represent. So what's the context? The number of people claiming disability benefits has soared since the pandemic, with 3,000 people a day being signed off work for ill health. Yes, 3,000 a day. That means that 1 in 10 people of working age in Britain is now considered disabled. Are we really that sick and frail as a nation? Yes, we have an increasingly ageing and obese population, but the most alarming rise is among young people, especially men, up 150% since 2019-20, and a substantial proportion, 37% of those claims, are for mental health conditions. It simply defies belief that all of these under 40s are unable to work, or that being written off by society and condemned to a life playing video games in a basement is the best thing for their mental health. And in fact, the Taxpayers Alliance has found that people are even claiming for conditions like acne and food intolerances. That's not just a tragic waste of human potential, it's fiscally unsustainable. Public spending as a whole is set to be £280 billion higher than before the pandemic, putting us on track to a £1.4 trillion state. We simply can't afford a country where every adult costs the government £24,000. Even Keir Starmer knows we can't go on like this. But his proposed cuts were only intended to shave £4 billion off a £30 billion rise in the National Incapacity Bill. It turns out he can't even do that. Pathetic. Instead, he will continue overspending on an absurd two-tier system where those claiming now are judged by a completely different standard to those in the future, essentially an admission that the current definition is too broad and too easy to abuse, while also being a huge incentive to sign up as quickly as possible. But frankly, none of this should surprise us. Labour's election manifesto only contained the word welfare twice, both in relation to animal rights. They had no real principles-based plan to improve the welfare system or to give more people the dignity of work, such as the coalition government had in 2010. Labour has treated this as a narrow, cost-saving exercise, instead of asking, for example, why we never returned to in-person assessments after the pandemic. As a result, the Chancellor will have to come back for more tax rises in autumn. And will that Chancellor still be Rachel Reeves by then? Who knows? The fact is, the only thing this Labour government stands for is state dependency, and the only thing it knows how to do is to tax the rest of us to pay for it. For more thought-provoking opinions, head to citym.com.